very amazing president, but anyway, if I asked you to name the top 5 things you know about Abraham Lincoln, excluding slavery, what would you say? I would guess that a lot of you would probably think of his top hat, his height, and his nickname, Honest Abe. You may also think of his profession as a lawyer. However, there is so much more to Abraham Lincoln than what we learned in school and saw in the movies. For example, he was considered to have a great sense of humor. He had the humor of the time and people loved him for it. As a longtime Lincoln fan, I conducted deep research on Abraham Lincoln to learn more about his personality and find out if he really was so honest after all. Lincoln is my hero because he had a strong personality that helped him be the kind of leader the country needed in the 1860s. Let's start with his best quality, his humor. Lincoln's humor was a well-known part of his personality. He often told funny stories to lighten the mood in the room as well as his own mood. He suffered from depression and used jokes and stories to get through it. He often used humor to deal with people and topics he didn't want to talk about. According to Lincoln's longtime friend, no one knew better than Mr. Lincoln that genuine humor is a plaster that heals many a wound, and certainly no man ever had a larger stock of that healing balm or knew better how to use it. One of his friends named Ian Arnold said that Lincoln's laugh was his life preserver. Historian Benjamin Thomas wrote, Lincoln's humor and its unrestraint, its unconventionality, its use of backcountry vernacular, its willingness to see things as they were, its shrewd comments and homely, earthy phrases, its frequent contentment with externals typified the American humor of his time. He also used humor to make people smile while understanding a serious point. While Lincoln's humor helped him connect with people, his understanding of human nature and his empathy was how he was able to communicate well. Lincoln's understanding of human nature combined with his empathy made him the man he was. According to historian Doris Kearns Goodwin, he possessed extraordinary empathy, the gift or curse of putting himself in the place of another, to experience what they were feeling, to understand their motives and desires. The last point I will talk about is Lincoln's honesty. In his notes for a law lecture, he writes about honesty, integrity, and doing the right thing. Lincoln earned his reputation as Honest Abe when he was a lawyer. This reputation helped him when he entered the political scene. He was viewed as being just and fair-minded in debates. In his notes for a law lecture, Lincoln writes, resolve to be honest at all events, and if in your own judgment you cannot be an honest lawyer, resolve to be honest without being a lawyer. When Stephen Douglas found out about Lincoln running against him for U.S. Senate, he remarked, he is as honest as he is shrewd, and if I beat him, my victory will be hardly won. Lincoln can hardly be described fully in a short speech. However, I have summarized a few of his qualities that I admire. He was a larger-than-life American legend. What made him such a memorable character was his down-to-earth appeal. Even though he was a lawyer and a president, his humor, honesty, understanding of human nature, and empathy made him the kind of man he was. This quote from a poem Lincoln wrote about his battle with mental health sums up his outlook on life perfectly. I have an irrepressible desire to live till I can be assured that the world is a little better for my having lived in it. I have always admired him, and after After researching for this speech, my admiration has grown. Thank you.